Hi everybody, it's Tracy. Happy Tuesday. Hope everybody's doing well today. I have this new blue journal that I want to go through with you today. It was ill-prepared. It was this book, Metropolitan Museum of Art book. But I loved the size of it. It's, let me just get my lovely ruler here. So it measures almost 10 by like 5 1/4. So it's an odd shaped book, but it's perfect for a tall journal if you have tall papers. So let's go through. So what I've done with the front, I've left the actual book base itself. It's this nice blue linen. And what I've done is I've covered it with, this was upholstery sample from those upholstery samples I had. Just this really cool, almost like jean, herringbone all mixed in together. Then I had this little vintage doily that I coffee dyed. And then I had this beautiful piece of lace, if you can see that I've added on. Then I have this beautiful ruffle. I think it was probably a collar that I got from Jan at Lita Vintage. So this is on there. And then this is from a shirt that I had bought at the thrift store, and I did a little coffee dyeing on it. I just cut all these applique flowers off, and then I just wrapped it with this blue ribbon, and then this little piece of costume jewelry. So let's open her up and see what's inside. I really like this journal. I think this is one of my favorite ones that I've made. So I've just put eyelets in here on either side, and then just tied this ribbon in. So we open it up and, oops, sorry, get settled here and get everything out of the way. We have, this is a beautiful, very, very delicate piece of, I don't know if it would have been a shirt or a trim on a blanket, or I'm not sure what, but you can see here it's starting to kind of like disintegrate, whatever this material is called. Is it like netting or something? But look at the beautiful, I don't know if they're called embroidered or if they're crocheted or whatever. But isn't it a gorgeous piece? And it's on this ruby and pearl from her, I think it's her blue kit. And oh, I just love it. So there's that. And then I've used the spine. I've used this piece of fabric. I think this is from Nancy at Wishes and Weeds. Just this piece of a digital piece of ribbon here. And in this pocket, this was the inside of the book. So I've just left this, sorry, I'm just going to get something underneath there. I've just left this as is because everything's going to be covering it up anyway. So in here, this is a really pretty picture of a girl from the kit. And I've just taken a piece of lace there. And this is, what I've used here is one of these, are they called the fly papers? Here's a brad, and then this is, I don't know if I waxed it first or if I waxed it after, and then, no, I waxed it first, and then I used a die cut on it. So, and she has some Mod Podge on her, just some matte, and then this letter, which kind of matches the bluish green in the kit. So I've just added that envelope in there. So let's get a move on. Get in there, little girl. Yes. Okay. So then we go to, oh, and you can see to try and hold it on without having to use a lot of glue and not having very good sewing skills, I went through this one and then just used a button on the back just to sew it through. And these are cute little buttons. Then we have just this envelope. It's just airmail. It's not really old, but it's the beautiful blue. We all love the airmail envelopes. And I just did a little stamp on it there. This is from a French book, paper journal type thing from 1894. Beautiful color on that. And here on this is from, I think it's Julie's Papercraft or something on Kopi. I've used this image before in another one of my journals. It's a freebie on her page. And I've just, I think I Mod Podged that too, just to give a little bit of sturdiness. And then I've included this letter from Mr. Reap, because he always gives us really good stamps and really good envelopes. This is from 1938. And this is some coffee dyed and blue. I think it might have been blue paper that I coffee dyed. I'm not even sure at this point. There's so much coffee dyeing and blue dyeing. And this is an Amity Bloom from her strips kit. I'll get that down a little bit. That's maybe a little distracting. I'll put my hand there. And I've waxed that and made it into a belly band. And then behind it, we have one of those, the doilies that I waxed. And it's got a little piece of cardstock just behind it. And then inside is one of these really pretty angel cards from Lori at Gathering Time and Grace. That goes in there, so you can hide whatever you want in there. And here is just a brown paper bag, and I just did a little, I had some blue dye, and I just kind of dropped it on there, and then I thought, oh, it's kind of really dark, so I went over it with some gesso, and then you know how it goes, added some pretty lace there. And this is a religious card for kids to teach them different lessons from the Bible, and just from the kit. And inside, this is from, pretty sure, that Metropolitan Museum of Art book. And then we have an old statement check. And then I added just a little piece there just to hide the brown paper bag. Sorry, I better speed up here. And here's just another one, just a collage. I've used this check and then another check and just a whole bunch of fun stuff. Here on this page is a piece of ledger where they kept track of, I think it's shipments. And here this is a check address slip, I guess for a delivery. Here we have a quitclaim deed from 1913. And I've just kept the page full together. I love these. I love the paper on these. This is another piece of ledger. This is their, I think they're receivables. And here is a piece. This is from Nancy. It's the old dot matrix feed printer paper. And I've taken the doily there. And this is from a book, a nature book. I think it was, I don't think it was ABCs of Nature, but it was one of those. And here's some digitals on the back. These two are from Heather's kit. I've just added them there. And then we have this, a blank check on the bottom. So let's go crazy. Here we have some really nice children's music sheet. I've added some blue vintage trim on the bottom. And then here we have a coin, a button, and a safety pin with little tiny beads. Are those called seed beads? I don't know anything about beads. A check here from 1941. And this is a letter to a company from Leyland's Holiday Village in Gravenhurst. Oh, that's where Santa's Village is. In 1948. Here's just this is from a guest sign-in book. And it had the holes already there. So I just put a bunch of eyelets in there in different colors. Ran this crazy trim through that I got from Kim at Images by Kim. And then this is from a kit. I don't know which kit it's from, but I just cut it out and then I did the glue, put glue all over it and let it dry to give it kind of like a glossy picture. Now on this digital, this signature piece, this is this whole thing is a doily. So I've laid the doily out and then just glued it on to that page. So that's why there's no pockets or anything. It's just the beautiful doily on the page. And then we have beads and buttons. Blue beads and buttons. Ooh. And then you can see I did some crazy stitching. Well, I guess it's hard because it's white with my sewing machine. Here is one of the, I think this is like one of those souvenir postcard books. And this is Hinter Zartan. And there's that. They're just the opposites of those. And there's that music page, just a tiny bit of texture paste stencil down there. And on this page is just a piece of scrapbook paper. And I've taken just, ooh, I'll fix that, I'll glue that. These are all just different washi strips, and I just made a tag out of it. And on the back is just a piece of scrapbook paper as well. And here we did some texture paste as well. And we have an envelope in here, not sure the date on it, but it's, I think it's German, Deutsch. No, Dutch, Dutch. Just added some of this gorgeous pom-pom trim that I got from Jan at Leda Vintage. Get off there, you little thingy. I love it. I only have a tiny, tiny piece left. There's the other side of that deed. Love this. The shipping. Here's the other side of that collaged bag that I did. And I just made a little flip tag on it there so you can tuck something in behind. The bag opens up and inside we have 2 more pieces from Heather's kit and then some of these bond coupons. And on the back is just a, just glued this sheet from a book on it and then just ripped it off and did a little stamp there. I love this. This is... Okay, I kept the originals because they're absolutely gorgeous. I wish I had them in front of me now. But in these pictures, it's very hard to tell, but there is blue. Not so much you can't see it on her, but it was like one of those colorized pictures. So I added those 2 in there. I found some silver photo corners because this is a blue and silver, which is kind of like a Christmas song. Isn't there a blue and silver? Added just some lace, blue lace down there. Added one of these metal medallions. And then, sorry about that. My phone rang. The telemarketer called again. They are persistent, those little dogs. So yes, so this is like, I love this page very much. I did a little stencil behind it. You can see how this crazy coffee dye turned out. And then just a tiny little stamp there. And there's the other side of that French paper here on the back of that airmail. I just put a really tiny little sewed tiny pocket here. And this is from the kit as well. And I just did a stamp on the back. And she's so cute. Okay, and on the last page of the signature, I took one of the old file folders that I had, and I made the tab that I love to make. It's my signature move, so they say. A paint swatch there with some metallic blue paint on old ledger. Stamp, German tape. We have one of those belt measurements. A little piece from, this is Well Loved Journals, Natalie there, and this is from a book on plants. So they just tuck in there when they want to go in there. Okay. And also just a tiny little playing card that I put through the a die, and this strip of beautiful Queen Elizabeth stamps. Signature 2. Oh, there's 3 signatures. We've got these beautiful pages from the kit, some onion skin paper. And on this page from the kit, isn't that color gorgeous? This silver tag is actually, you know, when you open up a can of coffee, you have that piece of silver lid that keeps the air vacuum sealed. I just ran it through the embosser, and it made just kind of a nice little pattern on it. I had some of this crazy, I don't know if you can see it better there. I don't know what that's called, but crazy paper there. This is just sweet little girls I had from a strip of negatives from, I think it was Marley's Design. And just that little pretty applique. I just attached it with a brad and some of this, and then some of the blue lace there. Here on this is from a scrapbook when they used to have scrapbooks the old way. This was one of the pages from there. We've got just a stamp dangle with a tiny, tiny little belt buckle. In the uptuck, we've got this from the Metropolitan Museum of Art matching game. Beautiful blue there. Got the blue check, added an extra stamp there, and it folds out. Serves as a pocket, and we've used this really pretty playing card. I think this is from Lori. Just made added little tiny pieces of leftovers and sewed a button on, and just put some perm papers, coffee dyed perm papers on the back. Say perm papers 5 times fast. Lots of journaling space, just a little stamp up there. This is from a music sheet. Student lessons. Airmail envelope from Hong Kong. Really love the stamp on that one too. Really nice thin blue. Ledger paper from 33. Love the writing on that. Here's the butter wrapper. This is from Kim. Got some nice blue inventory. I think that's inventory or an invoice. Really nice aged music paper. And we have a letter here to someone, and I don't even know what it's on the back of something. So this postcard, this is a blue stencil dyed paper, not coffee dyed, blue dyed? We'll figure it out. I've taken this postcard, I've embossed it, and I've added just a tiny bit of texture paste, and then it folds down, and on the bottom is just another collage, and I don't know if you can see that cute little bunny. I added him on. I got a bunch of those, what do you call those, appliques or patches? Iron-ons? No, they're not iron-ons. This is a piece of scrapbook paper that was coffee dyed and waxed and then through a die cut. So it had the full salon treatment on it. And then I had, this is from a shirt, this material, and I just kind of put it on and made a little pocket. This is another Sweet Girl from the kit, and then I just did a little stamp there with a vintage photo. I actually sprayed the stamp and the vintage photo before I stamped it, so it gives it a little tiny, just a different, softer, yeah. So that tucks in there, and that is hooked on there with just a piece of the spine fabric. And in the center, so you can see this is the stencil dyed, stencil blue. I think this might have been food coloring, I think. And then this is a, the stencil was a big plastic placemat that had that pattern on it. And they work the absolute best, and it works best in the sun. Way better than trying to dry in the house when you're trying to get a stencil. Here we have a tag, Canada Post. And this is, I don't know what this is. I got it in some sort of ephemera pack, but I really like it. This beautiful lace from Jan on the bottom. And in here we have, these are all leftover scraps from the different pages in the kit that I had to cut off to trim to fit. So I just made a tag out of those. This is from an old, really old shirt sleeve. And on the back I had some leftover of this, so I made a little pocket. There's some artwork. And this is a letter from 44, and this is just a tiny little gift card or some sort that you can use in there. Tuck all that back in there, and it goes in there. And then I've just, this is from an earring, and I didn't wear the earrings anymore, so it's now a dangle. And beautiful blue postcard. This is from the Badlands in Cedar Canyon, North Dakota. North Dakota. There's the other side of that letter, the music paper, the inventory, or the order form. Yeah, that's what you call it. The butter, the awesome ledger, the airmail. That's from that children's music sheet. Here I've just done a stencil with some blue ink all over this page, and just a tiny little cluster here with a tiny playing card, and that's a ticket and everything, and then some blue yarn all string all mashed up in there. Love this. Love this. Here's the onion skin. So on this page I had some ticking, little pieces of ticking left over that I had coffee dyed a while back. So I just sewed them, made tiny little pockets with them. This is all like 3 different leftover pieces of fabric there. So they're little double pockets. So we have a playing card, a ticket from a coffee, and then this is Johan Ryman. He's a movie star from Bulgaria. He's like a cigarette card, I think. And in here, this is actually from a book about history in Canada. And it was an advertisement that I cut out. I love it. He don't want to be an angel. He wants to be a gentleman and smoke the CPR cigars. Boy. So final signature. Some beautiful digital here. We got some lace trim. Love how those came out. This is printed on linen paper. And here, just on the bottom, I made a little pocket and just another playing card. It's got the beautiful blue color. Could have used those for pistachio. A book from Girls Own Annual. And I think this one is from early 1900s. 1938 on that blue check. Little piece of ledger at the bottom that was left over. Another ticking pocket. This is a leftover tiny little circle from a piece of a shirt. And I just used one of these, I don't know what you call these pins down there. And a really pretty playing card with the silver on it. And this is blue dyed tracing paper. This is a wallpaper from Jan again, and I had leftover acetate. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it very well, but I stamped it really light. It came out really, really light, but I stamped it with blue archival ink. And if you let it dry for a while, it'll eventually show up. It's just hard to tell, but it's there. And then it's tied with a little string of pearls and a blue bulb pin. I love the back of old wallpaper. Really nice old music sheet. Another one of Amity Bloom's tucks there. And this is on a, I think this is an invitation to something. And here's from my London Maps book. I love that book. And this is, Jostens was the photos, school photos, and also rings, student rings. So it says size up there. So I think this envelope was probably held somebody's school ring in it. Love it. And this is just some more writing paper there. This is from the Canadian Advertisers magazine, early 1900s again. Some beautiful ledger paper. Another stencil on some, I don't know what color this, if this was blue paper or if this was white paper. I don't even know anymore. A little tiny cluster there on the bottom. Got this really pretty blue flowered fabric. This is from Kim. And in this pocket, this is Natalie at Well Loved Journals, and I've waxed this, one of her kits. And I love this. This is so sweet. It's Patience, aged 2 years, 3 months. Hoping you all have a lovely time together. Cheerio. From something Pa, Joan, and Elizabeth. Isn't she just the cutest? I love that picture. So that goes in there. And then on this side, this is a waxed, I don't know if it's from this kit or not. It might be. I know this is from one of, I think this is from this kit. I don't even know anymore. I'm losing it. There's just like kits. I find a kit. I love it. I print it out. I'm trying to get organized with filing systems and labels and such. I've got my grand puppy here this week because the honeymooners are off in Cancun. So it's been very hard to try and do stuff today because he really likes to play catch. So we've been playing a lot of catch, but he's such a good boy. So let's just get on it. So it's been hard to kind of get things done, but it's been fun. There's that Advertisers magazine. And here we have a little cluster again. I love these. These were from that cigarette packaging that these like popped out. And I just used a alcohol ink dyed staple from, this is I punched out some of the checks, a tiny piece of lace, a piece of waxed die cut something, and then one of those bond coupons. I turned this postcard over because I love the color of the back of it. The front is just a facade of the cathedral, but I love the back of it. Just some trim down there. And there's that. This is just a piece of, not like cardstock. It's from a journal that you can buy to write on. But it was just blank pages. But I ran it through the embosser and then just kind of lightly brushed some blue ink on it. Added a little tiny, kind of like a slate colored button. This is from that shirt that I had on another thing. That's just my hair falling out. Here's a really pretty prayer card. And there's the invitation. Here's a real piece of bling. It's like one of those kind of like, I don't even know what they're called. I have a few of them. And I just realized that you open them up and you close them on something. I don't know if it's a shirt, a shoe, I don't know what it is, but it's there now. So wallpaper. Just made a little ruffle with some of that fabric, and then another really pretty button there. This is a a die cut of a paper clip right there. So you can't leave it out. The check. Here's, this is just on the, it's not from a file folder, it's just the page itself. And I just did a collage of stamps, back of stamps from inside of envelopes. I love to do that. And here we have a big postcard, and it's from 1985, but I have several of these, and it looks like it's from a woman who traveled to different places, and where she was that day, she would write what they did on the postcard from each day. So, and that's on another beautiful piece from the kit. Here, this is from a magazine. I just cut it out. I loved the blue on it. Now, this is just in here because it's a trial and error. So I have these really beautiful pink cabinet cards. I think I have 4 of them, and they're just gorgeous. So I did like my second scan and print. So I've scanned them in and I printed it out. And they turned out fairly well, I think. The lighting isn't very good. It's a really nice pink, but you can see the writing very well. It's not blurry at all. And so I printed it on heavy cardstock, and then I just waxed it to kind of give it a finish. So that's there. There you go. And on the back, I've included this little frame, which is just some silver cardstock, and I ran it through the embosser just on the bottom. Added this is the offcut from a die, and put some acetate on the back, so it's like a little frame for you. I added a hairnet for you, which has real human hair, and then I added this little card, which was part of the store. All of the items I got from that store, these would have been like at the front counter, and they were 5 cents, and it's just a really funny little story. And then on the very back of this, I just did a texture paste, and I added some ink to the texture paste to make it a light blue. And there's the back. You see that lace piece a little bit more, and the other pieces there. And then we have a little dangle here that has buttons, beads, and more buttons, and earring, and pearls, and I don't even know what else. And then a little diamond on the bottom for you. So there you go. There she is. Thanks for walking through with me. I hope you enjoyed it. It is, like I say, a little bit different, but it was really fun because I like this size very much, because you can use the tall pages, and most books you can't use the tall pages in. So yeah, so I've been missing you guys. Nice to see you. I have been thrifting, but I haven't been doing thrift haul videos. They just really don't get many views. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do there. I just want to give you a quick little peek. This is a something I made. Oops, this is supposed to go here. I made this last year, and I forgot to do anything with it, but it was a photo album, a little tiny flip out photo album, you'll see. And so I covered it in this fabric, which reminds me of Christmas. It had a Velcro closure to hold it together, so I've just, that is supposed to go through there. So on the front, where it was like just you would put your first photo in, this is, I think, I'm trying to remember. Has beautiful digitals on Ko-fi, and she had a Christmas digitals that were free. So I've just added some texture paste around to make it look like snow. And then as you go through, there's just little things. This is just an absolutely gorgeous, look at this. look at this. This is, I think, like was with prayer cards, but it's like a hologram. Can you see it's 3D? Isn't that beautiful? And then I have a postcard here. I'm going to hold it this way so it doesn't give too much of a glare. And here is just another digital, and I've just added some texture paste on the page. And I've just added cute little things throughout. You can do, oh, and then I had this printable. This is from Antique Paper Jane. It was all these crazy, it was like crazy Christmas photos. And he's actually making a tree in her hair. It's so bouffant. And then it flips over on the back. And this is a slide from December. I just added it in there. And I don't know, here's one of the other crazy photos. You can see this kid screaming on Santa's lap. Just a really sweet little digital of an outdoor scene. Kids playing. Gorgeous doily that I've just put in the middle there. Another postcard here in a pretty winter scene. And that's that. It's just a cute little thing. Just something cute you can make. Or make it as a gift and put some pictures in it of, you know, from people's past Christmases or whatever you wish to do. So I just wanted to show you quickly that, yeah, I did try a little bit of Christmas. So I did find the Christmas journal I attempted last year. I found it downstairs in my box of Christmas stuff. So maybe one day. Anyway, thanks so much, everybody. Take a peek. And I will be eventually listing this in my shop. And this will probably be my last video before Ho-Ho comes. So I hope everybody's been good. And I wish you a happy holidays, happy time with your family and friends, and good food, and lots of presents, and chocolate. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you soon. Bye.